Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to pop in here before the video starts. So when I was going through and setting mine up to do the final adjustments on my watts after I got everything tacked in or burned in, I realized that I set it up wrong. So I was doing a little more research to find the final adjustments, and they state that at half travel of your suspension, your bar should be parallel to the ground. And the way mine was set up, although it would have worked, my bars would have never been parallel to the ground. I could have run into some issues at full travel or hitting bumps or anything like that, and I didn't want to take that risk. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut those tabs off and reposition them so that my arms are level at ride height. But I just wanted to pop in here real quick to let you guys know to make sure that you do yours and set it up the correct way. And then the actual linkage itself should be cocked to the side slightly and not up and down at half travel. So all of this information that I got found on a channel called Garage Fab that I'll link below. He does great work in fabrication on cars and stuff, and really informative in his videos. But again, I just wanted to jump in here real quick before the video starts. But enjoy the video. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So what's pretty much a common theme for these videos, I'm gonna be tackling something that I've never done before. In previous videos, I've mentioned that I wasn't sure whether I was gonna go with a Watts link or a pan hard bar. And ultimately I chose the Watts link simply because it's the better of the two options from my research. With me being bagged and wanting to go as low as possible, I mean, it's the better of the two from what I can find. Now, the kit that I went with, or the one that I went with, there was a couple of options, but I ended up going with a kit that I picked up from Fabrication. Now, they have it listed under on their website. They have it listed under the 60 through 66 or 62 through 66 section for C10s. I personally think that this may be a universal kit, which, not taking anything from Banana Fabrication, it may be the way that it was listed to them or explained to them, because they use, because they sell parts for other companies. So maybe that's how it was described to them. But the reason I think it's a universal kit is because it doesn't bolt directly up to anything, and it is, you have to weld everything. And I've also seen this particular kit on other trucks. So that's just what makes me believe that. But again, like I said, not taking anything from them. They've been great to me so far as far as communication and everything, because this took right around 3.5, maybe, yeah, 3.5 weeks to get to me. And they've been in communication all the time, the whole time. Anytime I contacted them about it, they were very responsive in anything. Normally, I wouldn't even have contacted them. The only reason I contacted them in regards to this and the time that it took, because I know with parts, they have to be fabricated and stuff like that. So normally I wouldn't have even contacted them. My only reasoning behind contacting them when I did is because online on their website, I think it says like 2 to 3 days handling. And then when you go check the order process, mine just kept saying waiting for processing. And no shame in my game, I use Affirm for pretty much any purchase I do online, simply because I don't like seeing money come out of my account right away or large sums, as well as I don't like putting my credit card information online. So if I can get away with Affirm, I'm gonna always use that. So I wasn't sure if maybe that played any effect into the order process or anything. So I reached out to them to just get an update on that, and they were quick to respond and got me the information that I needed. So I have no complaints or anything against them. So far, customer service with them has been great. So in the future, I'm more than willing to order from them again, because there's obviously going to be more stuff that I need, because this project is far from done. And again, with great customer service, you'll continue to get my business. Now, on to the actual link itself. So this is the one that I picked. This is how it comes. Obviously not laid out, but this is what you get in the kit. Your main support pieces that hold, that make up the links, the joints and nuts and bolts and everything like this. Now the kit itself, on the website, you have two options. You can get it with the upgraded Heim joints, or you can get it with just the regular, I don't know, the regular joints with the bolt that go through and they go up and down and anything like that. Now I went with the Heim joint upgrade, because I actually was following Banana Fabrication online, and in some Facebook groups. I actually asked them the difference between the two, or why one would go with one or the other. And basically his reason was because with the Heim joint, with your suspension, as it goes up and down, there is some different play in directions that it travels. And with the regular joints, it puts excess wear on that actual joint, like if it goes left or right or anything like that. And with the Heim joints, because it has that articulation in it, it alleviates that, so you don't get that premature wear on your bushings, which made sense to me. Anything that'll help in longevity, I'm all for it. So that's why I went with that. Again, there's that customer service that comes into play. Fanata Fabrication have been great with the customer service with this. And this is, of course, by far no sponsorship or anything like this. My channel is tiny. My videos don't even get much views. And this was not sent to me. I purchased this. So this is not no sponsor, and why I keep mentioning them and their great customer service. It's just what they have. And I've worked customer service for many years of my life. And so I understand what good customer service is. But that's neither here nor there. Point of this video is I'm going to be installing this. It is, again, something I've never done before, so it will be a learning experience, but I'll document it for you, maybe to help you guys out. So without further ado, let me go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so I wanted to stop and just explain how I got to where I'm at right now, because each side is the same length. I measured out to get an even spacing between both sides from each one of these end flanges. So this to here, to the inside of the inside of this support, is 1 7/8 on both sides. So that's pretty much dead on centered with that. And then the tubes for the differential, or the axle tubes or whatever they're called, are 3 inches. So I went half of that, which is 1.5 inches, obviously. And then I put a line right there, and then I just lined this up halfway with this line. So this line is in the middle of the thickness of this support. And that's how I got the placement. So now what I need to do is, there's actually 4 of these, but one of them I left on a table over there. But anyway, these is what gets welded to the rear end, and then this piece bolts into it. So this goes right here, and then you have the 2 holes that line up and bolts this in. So you'll have 2 on each side, top and bottom, and then top and bottom right here. So I just need to get those lined up and tacked in. And then I'll bolt this up to make sure that it works before I completely burn it all in. Obviously I need to clean off the paint that's on it, but that's where I'm at so far. So I'm gonna be checking in through all of this, just explaining the steps that I go through as I get it done. So let me go ahead and pull on my welder and everything so I can start getting this tacked in and getting mounted. just did real quick, when I was lining them up, when I was lining these 4 tabs up, I noticed that they were slightly off as far as lengthwise. So it was making the holes not line up, and it was making it a little bit difficult to put the bolts through and line it up. So what I did was just bolt them all 4 together and sand them or grind them down to be the same length, so that when I tack them on, they're more precise. I don't know if that step was necessary, but it's what I did, and see if we'll see right now whether it makes it easier or not. So alright, so I got the main support in, but I did go ahead and start over and break everything off and remeasure and everything. I went and got a flexible tape measure just to make it easier than the aluminum one that I was using. Get more precise measurements, in my opinion, on around this surface. So I went ahead and got one tacked up, bolted it up, and then just tacked it in right there, and then bolted the bottom ones on and tacked those up. And if you can see the bubble, it is level. I have the jack holding it up right there. Obviously, because more of the weight is out front, it's only tack weld, so it's going to sag down. But when you get the other supporting arms in, then that'll hold it level. What else? This crease right here is the center of the diff cover, and that lines up with this right here. So now, not sure if I need to get these arms figured. I think I need to get this all put together and held in and put in place, so that I know where these arms sit at. There's no directions in here, so I'm just going off what I feel is the next best steps. I'm just guessing, taking my best guess. So I'm gonna put this all together, get this in place so I know where these arms fall. So that's the step I'm gonna tackle now. Okay, so I got it all put together. A little confusion on my part. I didn't realize that there was 2 different size nuts, and I had the bigger ones on the end pieces for the bolts that connected to the actual rear end. But these obviously go to this. So I got one of the, I don't know. Anyway, the bolts that go into here thread on here, but I didn't realize that. Oh, here they go. So yeah, so this is the smaller one, but it threads on to the bigger nut fine. There is a slight wiggle to it, but I didn't put it on before that. I put it on when I got through here, so it touching both pieces of metal, it didn't wiggle, so I didn't realize that was the wrong bolt. So that's just my bad, and that's just something to look out for, to make sure you pay attention that they are two different size nuts. So the smaller ones obviously go in the end piece, and then the bigger ones go for this. Now all of the holes for this, all of them except for, actually this whole plate had to be drilled out. This one fit, and then the brackets to connect the links together to your frame, none of those holes fit. So they all have to be drilled out for the size hardware that was shipped. But now I can go ahead and bolt this back up, and then I can just see where I want to put the arms at. And then that way I can mount these brackets, or start mounting these brackets, get them tacked in or whatnot. But this goes below the frame, and then this one goes in the frame rails, or not the frame rails. This one goes between the frame. This one is way too long for my application. I again think because it's a universal kit, it's meant to be that long, so fit different options. So I'm gonna have to chop it off once I lay the frame down to see how low it actually airs out to, and then I'll lay this down, cut it, and then go from there. Y'all see, I went ahead and put the tires on. Now these aren't the tires that I'm gonna be running, the wheels and tires that I'm gonna be running. They are fairly the same, they're the same width that I'll be running, but they'll be slightly bigger. The tire itself will be just I think about 1 inch bigger, but the wheel itself obviously is going to be bigger because I'm going to be running 22s. But this is just for mock-up purposes, so it may fluctuate slightly, but not by too much. But anyway, y'all saw a little bit of the air out. It sits pretty low. I'm not sure how much I can tell. How's that? Yeah, so I can. It fits. Oh, it don't. Yeah, so it doesn't. This is two 2x4 stacked up, and it doesn't go under. So fairly low. But yeah, so coming back over here, this is how it's supposed to go. Something like that. I'm not sure how high up I want it. I might do it higher because I think I want it as high as possible, as much ground clearance as I can get. And I just weld it to the bottom of the frame. But I need to go ahead and throw the watts back up on here so that I can see where it even falls at, so I know at least what area to be in. So let me go ahead and do that and get this all going. Go ahead and get a bracket made up, nothing fancy, but just a bracket for the lower, because I decided I don't want to weld this directly to the frame. I want to make it bolt in so that I can remove it. That goes right there. I got these holes in there that it'll mount to the correct direction, obviously, and then that'll bolt in. this project has taken way longer than it should have. I work when I can, so it is what it is. But I'm definitely going to get finished today. For the most part, it's done. Everything is almost where it needs to be. The issue right now is these are too long. So see, it fits if I jog this out more that way, and then it can go right there. But I don't really want this to be leaning all the way over. I'm gonna cut it probably in half and then put it on there. If this is kicked a little bit over, that's fine. And then I can always adjust this as well, pull that back so it straightens up more. But that's all I gotta do right there, and then I gotta just fully weld it. I got these ratchet straps on here to help obviously center the axle one way or another, because they're just sitting on the bags right now. I don't even have the shocks mounted yet. But yeah, so let me go ahead and get that on. Alright, so I'm finally done. Y'all saw it go up and down. It's working good, working perfect. There is some adjustments that I need to do to make sure that the actual axle or rear end is completely centered, but it is going up and down, and no side to side from what I can tell. Like I said, there is more adjustments that I need to be done, but as y'all can see, it's all in and fully supported on its own. My welds aren't the greatest looking, especially on the bottom. I suck at welding upside down, so luckily they're on the bottom. They're strong enough. They're strong and they'll hold. So, and if you're under my truck looking at the welds, then we got other issues. But like I said, all nice and put on. This I didn't end up burning it in, like welding it in. I don't know if I said previously, I didn't have any 3/8 rib nuts to put into the side, and I didn't feel like going to get them, so I just figured I'd just burn it in. So the bottom one, that one's still bolt in, and this one up here, not necessarily unfortunately I would say, but unfortunately this one had to be burned in. But yeah, if you have any questions, of course, you can ask me if I'll give what knowledge I know from me actually doing this. But again, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all taking out my channel, and till the next one.